Hello everyone, my name is Yug Patidhar and my topic for presentation is DOM manipulation. Let's begin with the introduction part. DOM मैनिपुलेशन एक फंडामेंटल कॉन्सेप्ट है वेब डेवलपमेंट का जिसमें अपन वेबसाइट के स्ट्रक्चर और कंटेंट को डायनेमिकली मॉडिफाई और अपडेट कर सकते हैं विद द हेल्प ऑफ जावास्क्रिप्ट। इसमें डेवलपर टेक्स्ट चेंज कर सकते हैं, एट्रीब्यूट्स चेंज कर सकते हैं और एलिमेंट को इंसर्ट और डिलीट कर सकते हैं। इसमें इवेंट हैंडलर का एक फंक्शन है जिससे अपन यूज़र के साथ डायनेमिकली इंटरेक्ट कर सकते हैं। इसमें अपन स्टाइल्स को चेंज कर सकते हैं जिससे अपनी वेबसाइट की रिस्पॉन्सिवनेस बढ़ेगी और अपनी वेबसाइट इंगेजिंग रहेगी। लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट स्लाइड। Here are the table of contents. Firstly, we will assess HTML elements and modify HTML elements. Then event handling, then creating and deleting elements, then at last changing styles and classes. Let's move on to the next slide. Assessing HTML elements. Using getElementsById is the first one. This method allows you to assess the element by its unique ID. It provides an efficient way to target a specific element based on user unique identifier. The second one is getElementsByClassName. This method returns a collection of elements with the same class name. It's useful for performing actions on multiple elements that share common class. The third one is getElementsByTagName. This method retrieves a collection of elements with a specific tag name, which is handy for selecting elements based on their HTML tag. The fourth one is using querySelector and querySelectorAll. This method enables the selection of elements using CSS style selector, offering flexibility and ability to target elements. Let's move on to the next slide. Modifying HTML elements. The first one is changing text content. You can use text content property to modify text content of an element. This is a straightforward way to update the text displayed within the element. The second one is changing attribute values. The setAttribute method is used to modify attributes like src, href or class. It's especially useful when you need to dynamically update attributes. The third one is appending and removing child elements. You can manipulate the structure of element by adding or removing child elements. Append child adds the child element while remove child removes them. Let's move on to the next slide. Event handling. The first one is adding event listeners to respond to user actions and other events. You can attach event handlers to element using the add event listener method. This is essential for creating interactive and responsive web applications. The second one is event object. When you attach an event listener, the event handler function receives an event object that provides information about the event. Let's begin with the third point, removing event listener. Knowing how to remove event listener is crucial for managing event behavior and preventing memory leaks. Move on to the next slide. In this slide, we will see creating and deleting elements. The first one is creating new elements. You can generate new elements on the fly using the document.createElement method. This is particularly useful when you need to add new elements dynamically. Second one is appending elements to the DOM. After creating a new element, you can add it to the DOM using methods like append child or insert before. This allows you to seamlessly integrate newly created elements into documents structure. The third one is deleting elements. Removing elements from the DOM is essential for managing dynamic content and ensuring that document remains up to date with user interactions. Let's move on to the next slide. Changing styles and classes. First one is modifying CSS properties. You can change the appearance of element by modifying their CSS properties through the style object. The second one is adding and removing classes. Managing classes is the structured approach to control the styling of element. You can use class list property to add or remove classes. This is particularly useful for applying predefined styles or dynamically adjust appearance based on user interactions. Let's move on to the next slide. In conclusion, DOM manipulation is foundational skills for web developer. It empowers them to create web applications that are not only interactive and dynamic but also highly responsive to user interaction. DOM manipulation provides the ability to update content in real time, respond to user actions with precision, and craft seamless and visual appealing user interfaces. It is essence of creating web applications that not only deliver information but also actively engage and respond to users' needs. Thank you.